Guys, what's going on? Appreciate you tuning in today. Today's topic is going to be on getting over your fear of women. Now, this is a pretty broad topic. I'm going to make some videos narrowing this down a little bit more, but I want to start at a high level view. All right. Why guys are afraid of women, why guys have a fear of women. All right. We're going to tackle a couple of common things that guys run into, and then we're going to talk about how to get over that. All right. So, guys, right off the bat, one of the biggest reasons that most guys are afraid of women is because, one, they've never really socialized with women. Now, I don't know how old you are. You could be in your later teens, 18, 19. You could be 20s, even 30s and above. And maybe you just never had the confidence or the ability, right, to talk to women. And that could stem from a lot of things like self-esteem issues. It could stem from, again, it's not socializing with women growing up, having a negative experience with women in general. All right, so that's a big reason. The other reason, guys, is personally I think is because of a lot of what media talks about when it comes to women, right? A lot of guys are just flat out scared to talk to women because of the videos that women put out about guys staring at them at the gym, guys who are too forward. You have the Me Too movement, and there is a little bit of truth to some of those things, right? There are creepy dudes out there. There are dudes who have ill intent, but it can seem like, especially if you consume a lot of that content, which is why I heavily advise, if you are deep into that, get out of that, all right? It's fun to maybe watch some videos every now and again for like entertainment purposes, but don't take it too seriously, guys. And this is why. All right. So we have a lot of craziness going on right now. We have this 4B movement, right? That's the biggest one. A lot of men are probably kind of like, I'm not sure, especially if you're in a more liberal, more democratic type of city or wherever you live, right? Maybe your family's like that, friends. You could be going to a liberal college. That can influence the way you think, all right? Now, let's talk about how you can tackle these things. And guys, this isn't going to be as cut and dry as you think it is, all right? A lot of guys, they see a problem and they're like, okay, to get over my fear of women, I just have to approach women. And guys, that's a backwards way of thinking about it. You're going about it all wrong. And here's why. I was just like you. When I was young, right, I grew up around girls, right, around women. I didn't have a super hard time socializing, so to speak, but when it came to women that I liked, I did not know how to talk to women that I liked at all. Girls that I liked, I didn't know how. My brain would just completely shut off and I'd freak out, right? I'd be like, what the heck? How do I do this? Long story short, guys, as I got older, especially into my later teen years, it was just trial and error, really. That's what it was. I had to fail to succeed. And that's where a lot of guys mess up. They've never even tried. At a young age, I realized, thankfully, that I had to fail to succeed. I was going to have to probably get in to relationships that failed. I was going to have to talk to women that ghosted me, that didn't reply to my texts or phone calls, that broke up with me, right? I went through all of that. And it really prepared me for how to talk to women later on in life, because the biggest fear that a lot of guys have is really just rejection, all right? If you're in sales, if you're in business, there's even guys in sales who are really good at sales, right, who aren't good with women. And I'm gonna get to that here in just a moment. You have to expose yourself to situations, to environments with women in them. I think what a lot of guys do is they wanna go from 0 to 100. They wanna go from never going out and socializing with people to I'm gonna go to a bar and pick up a chick. It's like, dude, you've never even really talked to a woman, right? Do you talk, if you have a job, do you talk to the women at your job at all? Do you even have an inkling of how to talk to women in the first place? If not, you need to find a group of people, just a platonic group of people. What I mean by that is you need to find a book club, a running club, a hiking club, sports club, volunteering club, something that you can get involved in where you are around people. And a lot of guys, I've talked about this in some of my other videos, a lot of guys really mess up when they don't socialize with other men. A lot of guys are just complete recluses. And guys, having a lot of guy friends is going to help your confidence big time, because you're going to have wingmen. You're going to have guys that you can talk about your, I don't want to say problems, but you can talk about your life with, right? You guys can bounce ideas off each other. Guys, I'm going to let you know a little pro tip here, all right? One of the biggest reasons I got good with women, one is because deep down I had the confidence, and that comes from trial and error. But a big part of that also was talking to guys who are way, way, way better with chicks than I am and was. So a lot of guys, they get jealous, they get intimidated by these guys who can pull chicks, right? Maybe they see a guy and they're like, oh, that guy, he's just tall, he's just good with his words, he's just whatever, right? And the guys get really intimidated and they just shut down and they don't talk to other guys. Or when they socialize with other men, right, they're just basically among people who are the same, or I hate to say less than, but if you're hanging around a bunch of people who are living a degenerate life, right, I'm not here to judge, but if you're hanging around a lot of people who are just smoking, drinking, partying, there's a very good chance they're not really going to go anywhere in life, and you're going to be stuck at that point in your life where you're just going to be dragged down with it, okay? So talk to guys, make some friends with guys who are better with women than you are. You will learn so much. It's not going to be a cure-all, but the more guys you talk to, the more you understand how they're able to get women, you start to pick up on some things. Maybe you'll never be 6'3". Maybe you'll never be super charismatic, right? But you can work on certain things like your looks. You can get a nice haircut. You can become more confident in yourself. You can become more charismatic if you just talk to people more, if you just put yourself in social situations. And guys, at first, it's going to be awkward. It's going to kind of suck, right? It just is. But you're going to have to expose yourself to situations where you can be around women. So go, if those guys are like, hey man, you should go out with us to the bar, right? You should go out, play some pool with us. Hey, my friend's having this party. Again, I'm not a huge advocate of just going out and partying, but every once in a while, it's no big deal. Just make sure who the people you're around are, right? Go out, have a beer or two, socialize, right? When you're out, you'd be surprised. A lot of opportunities present themselves. You'll run into other groups of girls, and guess what? If you're with some ladies' men, and these guys are halfway decent, they're gonna wanna get you to talk to these girls, right? They're gonna want, good men are gonna wanna better other men. They're gonna wanna lift them up, right? Yeah, there might be some tearing down, there might be some jabs here and there, but they're gonna wanna build them up. They're gonna wanna see them succeed, all right? That's just how men are. And if you don't ever do that, if you don't ever face your fear, guys, right? If you don't ever overcome that fear of just socializing in the first place, you're not gonna get very far, okay? So that's really a majority of it, guys. I would say I say for most guys, that's probably 80% of the problem, right? A lot of guys get really into this, like they gotta be the Chad with the $1 million in the bank and the nice car. You don't have to have these things. I just made a video on how you can get women when you're broke and why women date broke guys, all right? Interesting video, I would check it out. It's like 15 minutes long. Check out that video. I'm not gonna go into it, but guys, you don't have to be like alpha Superman, right? You don't. You just have to believe in yourself. You have to be confident in yourself as a person, and you're only going to get that way by repetitions. There's no easy way. You don't have to throw yourself out there. Again, you don't have to go from a recluse to clubbing, but you can get to the point where you're socializing, where you're going out, where you're interacting with people. That's gonna hone in your social skills. You'll pick up on social cues. You'll meet people that you enjoy being around. You'll make a bunch of friends. You'll be able to figure out who you want to hang out with. And your life will start to go up this upward trajectory where you're actually living out your values. You're actually doing what you want to do. And then a byproduct of that is you're facing your fears along the way. So guys, that's about 80% of it, but I do want to tackle the other 20%, all right? Now, before I jump into this, I just want to say I am going to make a video here soon on looks, because a lot of guys get caught up on looks maxing, which honestly, guys, to me, it's a lot of BS. There is some truth to it, but that's why I really, really hone in on being confident, because that's why you see guys who look like a 2, who look like a thumb, who are confident, who are charismatic, who can pull women in looks leagues above their level, because it all comes down to confidence, okay? But the other 20% of this, right, besides the socializing, is the obvious stuff, right? Like the Me Too, the Forward B, this kind of radical feminization that men are like freaked out about, right? You have it's in the workplace a lot now too, right? And I get it. Part of me gets it because I know that there have been instances, right, where lines have been crossed, where things have become inappropriate. And that's why a lot of these laws are there. What happens is they're taken to an extreme. And then it turns into this whole, like, I get it. There's been stories of guys who have just tried to talk to women who have been written up, who have been, it's sad. And that's why you should, in a sense, you should work on how you present yourself. You should work on your confidence, right? But a lot of these things can be avoided, guys, if you're just a masculine man. And really, the best way to do that is just always keep improving yourself, overcome your fears, and be confident. But how do we tackle this side of it, okay? First of all, stay away from those type of women, right? What I've noticed is if you run into these type of women, you will know pretty quickly. And a lot of guys, I think that they're either ignorant or they bury their head in the sand or they're desperate, okay? What I mean by that is, especially when I look back when I was like a later teen, right? Especially like when I was in college. I went to a pretty liberal college looking back. A lot of colleges are now. But I started to hear things, I started to pick up on things, I started to notice things, and I grew up with a father who taught me a lot of really good things about women, like a lot of things about female nature, things to look for, things to stay away from, things to avoid, right? And so I picked up on these things very quickly once I started to see it. And that's why I hope these videos help. It's because some guys, maybe don't have a father, or they didn't have that type of father figure or a big brother or something. So just something to kind of, give a little bit of guidance. You can tell pretty quickly, right? If a woman, I'm just going to be straight up with you guys, if a woman is dressing very provocatively, especially in a professional setting, you know with almost absolute certainty that that's probably a red flag. Because let's be real, guys, a lot of women, if you really think about it, women are the gatekeepers to sex and men are the gatekeepers to commitment and a relationship. And if a woman is marketing herself a certain way, if she's being overly provocative, and you will know what this looks like, it just depends on the situation. When you're on the beach, right, there's a different standard than in like a professional workplace, okay? But if a woman is constantly trying to put herself out there and market herself and show her body off and all these things, I don't care if you're conservative, I don't care if you're liberal, and all these, she can wear what she wants, and that's true, right? But just know that you're like bees on honey, right? You're going to attract a lot of different dudes because guys are very visual, and you're going to attract some dudes who do not have the right things in mind, who aren't going to be gentlemen, who aren't going to be good, right? And that's where you get all these problems from, okay? That's where you get a majority of these problems, okay? So just be careful with that. If it's obvious, right? If it's very glaring, that's a big part of it. Another real obvious thing is obviously piercings, things like that, right? I think it depends, again, on the person. It depends on the tastefulness of it. It depends on a lot of different factors, because I've met chicks who don't have any piercings, who don't have any colored hair, who are just awful to be around, honestly. Like, they're not my cup of tea at all. And they're really not a lot of guys' cup of tea. I met some women who have piercings, who have the colored hair, who are a lot more feminine and down to earth. So you gotta take that with a grain of salt, but that can be a decent way of, telling. Tattoos, right? Excessive tattoos, that can be a good way of telling as well. Anything that kind of, I hate to say this, but anything that really screams for attention, guys, if she's constantly putting herself out there, if it's like this, she's constantly marketing herself in like a provocative fashion, right? If she's flirty, that's another thing too. A lot of guys, let's say they haven't talked to women, let's say they haven't socialized. All of a sudden you're the nice, quiet guy, and these women can be predators too, guys. A lot of guys forget that. They think that only guys are evil, right? You need to get that idea out of your head. People are predators. People, male, female, are predators. They can be evil, right? So you have a lot of women who prey on these good guys. It's very, very common. Because what happens is they've been with a bunch of bad men. They've put themselves in situations, right, to be with a bunch of bad men. They they want the attention so badly, and they keep just basically putting it out there for everybody. And then they're pissed off when no man wants to commit to them, and when they don't get exactly what they want, because a lot of these women, guys, I'm gonna be straight up with you, they haven't had good father figures. They haven't had a dad to tell them no. They haven't had somebody, a good masculine figure in their life to explain things to them, to walk them through life, to explain a lot of religious things too. That's a big one. There's no fear of God anymore. There's no fear of, right and wrong. There's very little of that now. So a couple of those things in, you have women who just, they do what they want. And this world, especially America, kind of rewards that, right? You can just kind of go off your feelings. You can see it in the divorce laws. You can see it in everyday life, right? But anyway, let's get back to the point here. If she's constantly marketing herself in that provocative manner, guys, just stay away. If she's approaching you, if she's being super flirty, again, be very, very skeptical. All right, there's a difference between a woman who's into you and a woman who is just flat out flirting with you. And again, it depends on the situation. A girl who's flirting with you at the bar isn't as much of a concern as a girl who's just straight up flirting with you and being provocative and promiscuous at work, all right? In the workplace, that could go 100 different ways, and 99 of those are probably gonna be bad, all right? If you pursue that, if you go for that, first of all, if she's doing that at work, that's kind of strange, right? Because one, it's a professional environment. You're probably not the first one that she's doing that to, right? I do believe men should be the pursuers, right? We should be the ones like going up to women, asking women. Women will let you know if she's like available, or she'll let you know. But if she's like pursuing you, if she's like trying to get into your life, to me, that's a red flag. It's never gone well. It's never gone from any guy I've heard of, right? So be very wary of that. Be extremely wary of that, because a lot of women just love drama. They love when things go their way. They love feeling in power. And in most workplaces, guys, if it doesn't work out, let's say you guys go out, you guys have a couple drinks. That's why I don't recommend having drinks on the first couple or even first few dates, because alcohol, you can always say that someone could always say that they were inhibited and they were taken advantage of. So don't even go that route. But if you start sleeping with people at work, that's going to open up a whole new can of worms that, again, it's only a matter of time before things go south. It's only a matter of time before you piss her off, before she wakes up and realizes that she doesn't like you, before she wants to stir up drama. Maybe you get with another girl and then she finds out and she's super jealous and things go to crap. Guys, it's not worth it, all right? If you're a guy watching this, maybe you've had friends, maybe you know guys, and you know guys who've been in similar situations, maybe with girls at school, college, not necessarily a professional environment, right? More of a casual environment, and or maybe they go to the same bars or clubs or whatever, and just the drama there from going out with different women and stuff, that can start to become a headache, right? You can kind of have to start watching your back when you go out just to those kind of places. So again, guys, it's not worth it. You can avoid most of these women if you just don't pursue the ones that pursue you, at least the ones that pursue you like hard, and the ones that pursue you in an inappropriate setting, which to me is like the workplace and things like that. So again, to me, that's more of a masculine thing. Guys should be going after women. If a woman is pursuing you like that, again, from my experience, from what I've seen, from what I know, it never ends well. So be very, very wary of that, all right? It's more than just the external appearance. It's everything, right? It's how she interacts with other people. It's how she portrays herself. Is she loud? Is she wearing halfway modest, clothing? Is she, you can just tell, you can pick up on things, guys. Your gut rarely lies, okay? I hate to say it, I don't want to say never lies, because sometimes you're wrong, but most of the time your gut never lies. So there's that thing in the back of your head where you're like, I don't think this is a good idea. It's probably for a reason, okay? So guys, that's what I have for you. That's how you can get over your fear of women, why guys have a fear of women. Again, 80% of it is going to be because you just don't socialize enough in general. Once you learn to socialize with people in general, it becomes very easy. Once you're on your path, your purpose, you are doing your best to do what you enjoy in life. You're going after things. You're facing fears in general, right? Once you stop making your life all about women and you just enjoy your life and you live your life and you work at what you're good at and you enjoy it and you have a plan and a mission, guys, women will come to you, right? They will come to you. They'll make it very apparent. They will want to be around you. They will reach out to you. They will make themselves available in social situations, right? You will be that carefree, confident guy. That's what guys want. I mean, that's what girls want, all right? Girls want to be around that guy who's just carefree, confident, who knows what he wants, who's confident in his whatever situation he's in, right? And guys, the other 20% of it, I get it, but a lot of that can be avoided by just every day, just open your eyes, read the signs, and steer clear of any danger. So, guys, that's all I have for you today. Let me know what you think below, and I'll see you at the next one.